The spiritual life is a constant invitation to wade deeper out into the waters, to swim deeper out into the waters. Spiritual life is a constant invitation to go beyond the shallow, superficial offerings of this world and to enter into the mysteries of life, the mysteries of God, and the mysteries of self. God wants you to become the best version of yourself. This is an astounding dream He has for you. You put limitations on yourself. I put limitations on myself. We come up with reasons, excuses, justifications why we can't become more. We think a lot about having more or doing more. But our desire to have more and do more are distorted. They're distorted reflections of a much greater desire. And that much greater desire is a desire to become more of who God created us to become more truly and authentically ourselves. There's a great story in the New Testament, in the Gospels. The disciples been out fishing one night. This is after Jesus rose from the dead, but before the ascension. And Jesus is appearing to different people and different groups of people throughout this period of time. And the disciples went out fishing one night and they come back and Jesus is on the shore and He says, "Well, what'd you catch?" They said, "We got nothing." Jesus says, "Well, why don't you take the boats back out into the deep water and let down your nets for a great catch?" You think about the humanity of this story. The disciples, they've been fishing all night. They were experts. This is what they were really good at. This is what they knew. This was their profession. This was their expertise. They've been fishing all night. If they didn't catch any fish, they probably believe there weren't any fish to be caught that night. Jesus comes along and says, "Let's try that again." How are they feeling? They're tired. They're frustrated. But what did they do? They get back in the boats. They take the boats back out, not just nudge them off the shore, but take them back out into the deep water. We know, archaeologically, from the type of boats they would have been using, we know what Jesus was asking for here was a 3-hour exercise to get the boats out there, to get the nets ready, to drop the nets. 3-hour exercise. The disciples do it. They go out there. They let down the nets. What happens? They catch so many fish, they almost break the nets and sink the boats. They have to call their friends in other boats to come and take some of their fish so their boats won't sink. That's a great catch. The older I get, the less things I know for sure. The older I get, the fewer things I'm certain about. But I'm sure about this. In some aspect of your life right now, you're looking for a great catch. It might be in your career, it might be in your health, it might be in your personal finances, it might be in a relationship, and some aspect of your life. You're hoping for a great catch, you're looking for a great catch, you want a great catch. God wants to give you that great catch. I believe that. But this is what I know for sure. You don't get a catch like that in the shallow waters. The catch the disciples got, they couldn't have got a catch like that in the shallow waters. Jesus said, "Take your boats out into the deep waters and let down your nets for a great catch." And I think He says the same thing to us. Go out into the deep waters. Do not be afraid of the deep waters of prayer and spirituality and mysticism. Go into the deep waters. There's life there. There's great catch to be had there. Don't be afraid of the deep waters. Because much of what we yearn for, much of what we're hungry for, much of what our soul is thirsty for, cannot be found in the shallow, superficial offerings that the world wants to pass off to us in our quest for happiness, in our quest to discover ourselves, in our quest to become all we were created to be. We yearn for more. And in order to access the richness of what God wants to share with us, we have to be willing to go beyond the shallow and the superficial, to go into the deep waters, to spend some time in the classroom of silence, an expanding period of time in the classroom of silence, to work out who we are and what we're here for and what matters most, so that we can live passionately, purposefully, every single day for the rest of our lives.